Hi. Hi, everyone. It's me, Sailor Moon. And it's me, Sailor Venus here. And today we're, I guess, going to be a follow up film from the one that we made before. You know, the hate that a lot of folks have for the English offshoot of Sailor Moon. And we're not talking about the Viz one. We're talking about the Dic and the Pioneer one, which some folks say was Cloverway, but anytime I watched it, it always says it was done by Pioneer or Pathfinder or Pathseeker or whatever it is. So, where did this hate come from? You know, you just don't watch something and then hate it right off the front. You know, a lot of folks who hate it now probably didn't even know what they were watching back in between 95 YL. All right. So so they didn't hate it off the front. Anyway, so this hatred or what do you want to call it came out of them seeking out the Toei one, which or the Dawnlandish one, which every all the Sailor Moon offshoots some in some way. And the things that they bitch about or the things that they hate or scave really doesn't really make any right there. I mean, yes, they do bitch about the show playing, but when it's speaking, there's not really much you can do about it. I mean, they say that the ones that spoke for them weren't skilled enough or whatever. But what did these folks actually want? Did they want it to be, I don't know, Dawnlandish English? You know, a offshoot of English that is spoken in Dawnland by I don't know how many folks, you know, as a two-forward speech? Well, sadly, that wasn't what they were going to get. And then they also go on to bitch about, you know, the names being shifted. I mean, come on. To bitch about the names being shifted, I mean, I don't really understand where all that came from. For English speaking folk, the names that they're going to be more understanding would be, I don't know, the Hellenic and the Latin borrowed names. And yes, names are borrowed. There are a lot of names in the English speech, and some of the names are English names, but many of them are borrowed from other speeches. Um, and to be earnest, they might have been. Why did they get mad about that? I don't know. They did. Do you really if you think those were the only two things they got mad about, well, that would be one thing. And they also, you know, bitch about, you know, they also bitch about, you know, the cleaning being done. Yes, you talking about that Sailor Venus? Sure. Yeah, they do bitch about the name, about, you know, about Sailor Moon being cleaned. And they make it out to be like that it was the only show that ever had that done. But there were many other shows before us and even shows who came after us that had to get cleaned up a bit before they could get to the English speaking world. But, you know, and they also, you know, bitch about, you know, say, about stead names being shifted, strike names being shifted. They bitch about the saga and tale, but the belief that what I believe is that the saga and tale's the same. You know, they really didn't do that much shifting in that. And as far as strike names and stead names being shifted, once again, it has to do with, you know, what is more smoothly to understand, borrowed or not, and what is not so hard to, and what is, you know, harder to, what is harder to understand, you know? And this is funny because the same folks that will scave and bitch about Dic and Pioneer, well, I know Pioneer is a French borrowed word. The English word would probably be path seeker. Um, they give all that love to Viz, you know. But let's be earnest about it. If it wasn't for folks, you know, it wasn't for a lot of folks liking the English work to begin with, there wouldn't have been no need for it to be redone. Alright? But at the end of the day, where does the hate come from? You know? I mean, I've watched it many times. And many on like websteads over the years. And still this day I still can't see where the hate comes from. You know? You know, I truly don't. At the end of the day, it's beyond me to understand that where the hate comes from. You're right. Yeah, you're right, Sail Venus. At the end of the day, I don't know where the hate for my show came from. You know? And I don't know who started it. You know? And there was always, you know, there's always going to be these folks out there that, you know, they believe in stuff. They're like, oh, well, they're like, Nako Takiguchi didn't like it. You know? Well, first off, Nako Takiguchi and Toei were the ones that worked out the deal with Dic, worked out the deal with Pioneer to get Sailor Moon have its English work. And in that deal that was worked out, I believe there was some freedoms that Dic and Pioneer got. All right, and some of those freedoms may include would be shifting the names, strike names, stead names, you know, anything they had to do to make it work in the English speaking world. And it also had to do with oversights and laws of the lands that they would be having the show run in too. So yeah, at the time. So at the end of the day, that saga until doesn't hold any water. So yeah, but where did it come from? I don't know. And before I end this film, you know, and then some Sailor Moon followers out there saying you're not a true Sailor Moon follower if you like if you like the English work, which at the end of the day I just think is, you know, truly dumb. But that's just me. Well, that's it for us. Yeah, Sailor Moon, I think that's kind of dumb. So that's the end of our film. You know, if you like it, then follow us here at Sailor Moon for Life or watch our last film we made over here. I'm Sailor Moon, I'm Sailor Venus, and we hope you like this film.